Greetings once again from the Black Hills of South Dakota. Stan Jabalisco coming at you. I just read on foxnews.com. Okay, I admit it. I watched that. I look at that website. Something that said that the Environmental Protection Agency, the EPA, is going to attempt to regulate wood stoves. Well, I get a lot of my heat from burning wood. But it's an expensive way to go, actually. A much cheaper way to go would be to install a gas fireplace between my bedroom and my upstairs study. Well, the article went on to say that the proposed new regulations that the EPA wants to impose on wood-burning stoves will not apply to wood stoves that are already in place. But I snooped around a little more on the internet and found some other sites, and one of them, a fairly reliable, supposedly a reputable site, said, yes, indeed, they will regulate existing wood stoves. So I found a link at the EPA site itself that confirmed that they will not apply to existing wood stoves. But here's the rub. I would be economically better off, and the planet would be better off, if I got away from burning wood and put that gas, natural gas, methane, fireplace in there instead, and only used the wood stove when I absolutely needed to have it. It's a cozy thing to have, but it's a lot of work. It's kind of dangerous too, you know. You have to get that chimney cleaned or you'll have a flue fire, and that can be a very dangerous thing. So, all in all, I think that the EPA has our best interests at heart as a collective humanity. The problem is this. I've been reading a lot about EPA lately, and that they are exercising an awful lot of regulatory power. And I think that their intentions are good. I don't think that they're evil people out to take our freedoms away from us or to make government bigger per se. But I think that what they're doing, what we need to do is keep in mind something. The road to totalitarianism is paved with good intentions. Everybody wants to be a cook and put something into the pot of stew. And the problem is, when everybody puts their 2 bits into the pot of stew, you're going to end up with something that's entirely inedible. And I think that that is a rule that we need to start thinking about. And even NPR, National Public Radio, which I consider to be a rather liberal, and in fact rather leftist network, has come out and begun to drift towards the libertarian end of the spectrum, which is a liberal point of view. But all I'm really trying to say here is that we need to be very, very careful in how much power we give our government and how many of our freedoms we give away, because as this white hat hacker from Finland on NPR today, April 5th, said, I believe it was on the TED radio hour, he said, every time you give a freedom away, you'll never see it back again. So I think that we need to weigh the power of government against the best interests of the people. And one more thing, and I know this is kind of dangerous to talk like this on YouTube because it's going to attract people who might not agree with me. Well, if you don't agree with me, you don't agree with me. I'm not telling you have to agree with me, but I am trying to make the point that I think maybe we're giving a little bit too much power away to our government, and maybe it's time we started thinking twice before we make the government such a nanny state. And again, what I was going to mention, we will never, ever, ever get a handle on our environmental problems. That is, the problems that we as a human race are causing to the environment. We will never get a handle on it until we manage somehow to control the explosion of population. Because no matter what solution you come up with, eventually the rising tide of more and more people will overcome that solution and create a problem all over again. So we got to put a lid on that. Now, I'm not going to recommend any specific way to do it. I'm just saying and I should say too, if we as a collective human race don't do it voluntarily, nature will do it for us. And we will have no democratic say in what nature decides to do to us. If you don't like the law, you can change the law. If you don't like the EPA, you can do something to limit their power. But if nature itself decides to impose its regulations on us, we won't be able to do a doggone thing about it, except bear the consequences of our irresponsibilities. Stan Gibilisco signing off from the Nerd Castle Penthouse. Until next time, so long.